Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be with President Duque of Colombia. We've been working very closely, and it's so nice to meet your wife, First Lady, and you have a brilliant reputation. And thank you for coming. We very much appreciate it. I think, Melania, you're both going to have lunch afterwards and get to know each other.
We are, and I'm sure we can enjoy it.
I know you're going to enjoy it. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. We're working on many things together. Eradication of drugs in Colombia and outside of Colombia, and obviously Venezuela, the military, so many different elements, including trade. But I think today a lot of it will be devoted to discussing Venezuela and what's happening in Venezuela. We have a very close picture. It's in turmoil right now. People are being treated very badly, and it's a very sad thing to witness, especially since we're so close. We fight all over the world, and then you look at what happens right at our front door. So I don't like seeing it. I'm not happy about it. Let's see how it all ends up. But the president's been very helpful. A lot of people from Venezuela have gone to Colombia, and you're treating them well. We're sending a lot of supplies because in many cases these people are starving or close to starving. And the people within Venezuela themselves are, in many cases, I mean, they're in bad shape. They're very hungry. I've seen what's going on, and they're very hungry. So I just want to thank the president for working with us, and we're working together. Our militaries are very focused and working together. And let's see how it all turns out. We're going to make things turn out well. That's what we do. We make things work. So thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. And I would
it.
also like to, first of all, express our gratitude for being here. The U.S. and Colombia have been long-term friends, and we have received a lot of support from your administration in the tasks that we have before us, to fight drugs, to fight terrorism, to promote economic growth, and obviously to strengthen trade. But it's something very important to highlight today, and is that we share values on democracy, and we want to work together to put an end to the brutal dictatorship that has been affecting the Venezuelan people. I am very happy that the diplomatic blockade is working like no time before, and I think the days for this dictatorship are about to end, and we have to continue working in those lines. So thank you, Mr. President, for hosting us. Thank you, Madam First Lady, for inviting us to your house, and I'm very pleased that we will continue strengthening the relationship between Colombia and the U.S.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I appreciate it. Thank you. One thing I might add, we have tremendous support, Colombia, but we have tremendous support all over South America, all over the world, really. We have a tremendous number of countries, not only that have joined, but want to do whatever they can do to help with the situation in Venezuela. So we'll be seeing a lot over the next few weeks. Let's see what happens. Okay? Thank you. Thank you very much.
How much longer is the United States will be able to tolerate the presence of Nicolas Maduro in the Palacio de la Flores?
Yeah, right, sure.
There is a new president that you recognize, and a president that is living in the Flores. How much longer?
Well, I have great respect for the man that many people think is the real president of Venezuela. He's very brave. It's a very brave situation, what he's doing, as you know. I've seen what's happened in the streets, and I've seen what's happened with executions, so I really give him a lot of credit. And I think it's going to work out very well.
Do you still consider any military solution for Venezuela?
Well, I think there are a number of solutions, a number of different options, and we look at all options.
And are you thinking in sending troops to Colombia? Like
I never talk about that. It's just,
Let me add something on the first question that was raised by Vanessa. President Guaido, who is the person about to lead this transition in Venezuela, has a strong support, and we need to give him even stronger support. I think what happened with the EU has been very important. We will host the Lima Group next week in Bogota, and we will, all the countries in the hemisphere, give him a stronger support he needs to lead the transition in Venezuela.
President Trump, if President Maduro stays in power, do you have a plan B?
I always have plan B and C and D and E and F. I have great flexibility. I probably have more flexibility than any man that's ever been in this office. So we'll see. But there are many plans, and we'll see where we go. Right now, we're in an incredible period. I saw the tremendous numbers of people yesterday. You know, you're talking about during the week, just numbers that you rarely see anything like at the protests. So we'll see what a lot of things are happening in Venezuela that people don't know about. And there's a lot of support for what we're doing and for the people that we're talking to. A lot of support, tremendous support.
President Trump, are you going to sign the funding bill, Mr. President? Will you
What?
sign the funding bill?
At the border now with Venezuela, what is the plan? How is it going to get into the country?
Well, they have to be able to let the food in, and in many cases it's getting in. They blocked one of the bridges, but they haven't been able to block the others. They'd like to try. I think he's making a terrible mistake by not allowing that to happen. It's showing bad things, and really we're trying to get food to people that are starving. You have people.
How much longer is the United States will be able to tolerate the presence of Nicolas Maduro in the Palacio de Miraflores? Because currently there is a new president that you recognize and as official president, but he's living in Miraflores. How much longer?
Well, I have great respect for the man that many people think is the real president of Venezuela. He's very brave. It's a very brave situation, what he's doing, as you know. I've seen what's happened in the streets, and I've seen what's happened with executions, so I really give him a lot of credit. And I think it's going to work out very well.
Do you still consider any military solution for Venezuela?
Well, I think there are a number of solutions, a number of different options, and we look at all options.
And
Are you thinking in sending troops to Colombia like?
I never talk about that. It's just-
Let me add something on the first question that was raised by Vanessa. President Guaido, who is the person about to lead this transition in Venezuela, has a strong support. And we need to give him even stronger support. I think what happened with the EU has been very important. We will host the Lima Group next week in Bogota, and we will, all the countries in the hemisphere, give him the stronger support he needs to lead the transition in Venezuela.
President Trump, if President Maduro stays in power, do you have a plan B?
I always have plan B and C and D and E and F. I have great flexibility. I probably have more flexibility than any man that's ever been in this office. So we'll see. But there are many plans, and we'll see where we go. Right now, we're in an incredible period. I saw the tremendous numbers of people yesterday. You know, you're talking about during the week, just numbers that you rarely see anything like at the protests. So we'll see a lot of things are happening in Venezuela that people don't know about. And there's a lot of support for what we're doing and for the people that we're talking to. A lot of support, tremendous support. What?
Aid at the border now with Venezuela, what is the plan? How is it going to get into the country?
Well, they have to be able to let the food in, and in many cases it's getting in. They blocked one of the bridges, but they haven't been able to block the others. They'd like to try. I think he's making a terrible mistake by not allowing that to happen. It's showing bad things, and really we're trying to get food to people that are starving. You have people starving in Venezuela, and it just shows what can happen with the wrong government. You have the wrong government, bad things happen, but you have many, many people that are in really trouble for just hunger. And so we are delivering, and we're sending tremendous amounts of food and other things, supplies.
Mr. President, if I may add to that, I think we have to give a very strong message to the dictatorship. Obstructing the access of humanitarian aid is a crime against humanity. And we have to ensure that the humanitarian aid gets to the Venezuelan people, and Colombia is highly committed to receive humanitarian aid from the U.S. and other countries so that it can access Venezuela and help the Venezuelan people face.
Well, we haven't gotten it yet. We'll be getting it. We'll be looking for landmines, because you could have that. You know, it's been known to happen before to people. But we have not gotten it yet. It'll be sent to us at some point, and we'll take a very serious look at it. We have a lot of things happening right now. We're building a lot of wall right now with money that we already have. And when people see what we're doing, I think they'll be very surprised. We're doing a lot of work, and we have planned to do a lot of work, but I have not seen it yet. I appreciate all the work the Republicans have done because they're really going against a radical left. It's a radical left, and they're going against it very hard, and they're fighting. But we're in very good shape, and we're going to take a look at it when it comes. I don't want to see a shutdown. Shutdown would be a terrible thing. I think a point was made with the last shutdown. People realized how bad the border is, how unsafe the border is, and I think a lot of good points were made, but I don't want to see another one. There's no reason for it. And we're going to look at the legislation when it comes, and I'll make a determination then. Actually, it will be, regardless of what I do, you know, we already have, as you know, a lot of money where we're building existing wall with existing funds, but I have a lot of options. Just like we do with Venezuela, we have on the border. And we have a lot of options, and a lot of things are happening, very positive things. You know, the numbers are almost $23 billion, which you don't report too often. It's about an 8% increase over last year. So if you look at the total funding, it's almost up to $23 billion. It's about 8% higher. The border area is happening. It's going to happen at a really rapid pace. We're giving out contracts right now, and we're going to have a great wall. It's going to be a great, powerful wall. People will not be able to get through that wall very easily. And I think you see that. I think you see it happening. It's very important. It'll also have technology. It'll have drones. It'll have everything else we have. If you look at the other elements, ICE funding will be complete. We have other things happening which people aren't talking about, but we've got a lot of funds for a lot of other things. But with the wall, they want to be stingy. But we have options that most people don't really understand.
Are you considering sending 5,000 troops to Colombia?
You'll see.
Will you be willing to offer this?
Are you against that?
Any other questions?
Will the Colombian president allow that?
Say it.
Mr. President.
I'll be visiting. I really want to. I want to visit Colombia. I look forward to visiting. We're working very, very closely on the drug
Mr.
situation.
President, would you consider an amnesty to Maduro, for Maduro?
Or exile?
Something we haven't thought of. Something we haven't thought of. Well, it's always interesting. Anything Ted does is interesting. So that's certainly an interesting one.
What that means that we're going to know.
in Colombia's drug policy?
Yeah, we are working together so that Colombia eradicates some of what they're growing in Colombia. I wouldn't say that at this moment you're ahead of schedule, but hopefully you will be sometime in the near future.
But let me mention something to that question, Mr. President. In the first 4 months of our administration, we have eradicated 60,000 hectares, more than was eradicated in the previous 8 months. We have a goal, and we will commit to that goal, because it is our moral duty to have Colombia free of illegal crops and free of narco trafficking. We have to deliver, we will deliver, because it is our moral duty.
Mr. President,
I just want to say before you leave, the economy is doing incredibly well. Numbers are really high, really good. We have a big team of people, very talented people over in China right now, negotiating on the China deal. It's going along very well. We'll see what happens, but I think it's going along very well. They're showing us tremendous respect, and something which a lot of countries didn't used to show the United States. They're showing us respect now. Big difference from the old days, I will tell you that. So the deal with China is going very well. The economy is doing fantastically. You saw the Gallup poll that came out, 69% or so say they're going to be in better shape next year than even this year, and they're very happy right now. And that's the best numbers they've had in 16 or 17 years. But the economy is strong. We have a lot of companies coming into the United States. They want to come into the United States. So we have a lot of good things happening, and the wall is being built as we speak. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Come on, guys, let's keep moving.
Mr. President,
Let's go. President, we're finished.
Thank you so much.